Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Germany midfielder Angelo Stiller set for 2026 move after cool Liverpool admission. The 2025 summer transfer window may be over, but that is unlikely to stop future planning at Liverpool. It was one of the busiest summers of all time at Anfield, with the Reds twice breaking the British transfer record. Despite some serious additions to the Liverpool squad, though, there is still room to add even more quality. Liverpool could do with another centre-back, and it remains to be seen whether they reignite interest in a move for Mark Guéhi. The latest reports suggest Liverpool could try and sign Brighton's Jan-Paul van Hecke instead, and that is certainly one to keep an eye on. Improvements may also be sought in midfield, where the Reds could perhaps do with a clear alternative to Ryan Gravenberch. Germany's Angelo Stiller could be a good option in that regard, and after the 24-year-old made an interesting admission about Liverpool this week, journalist Fabrizio Romano has explained what is expected to happen with Stiller. Angelo Stiller likely to move abroad in 2026. There have been suggestions that Liverpool considered Stiller after being rejected by Martin Zubimendi in 2024. However, with two further transfer windows having been and gone, they have not made a move. Nevertheless, Stiller admitted that he is keen to play abroad earlier this week, name-checking Florian Wirtz's decision to join Liverpool as an inspiration. "I'm interested in moving abroad at some point," said the Stuttgart man. "I thought Florian Wirtz's decision to go to Liverpool was cool." And according to Romano, Stiller is likely to be on the list of plenty of clubs heading into 2026. "I think Angelo Stiller is going to be a topic for 2026, the reporter told his YouTube channel on Friday. The player was never close to a move this summer. There were reports about Real Madrid in agreement with the player. Not true. Real Madrid considered him internally, but they never made a proposal to Stiller or to Stuttgart. What I can say is that Stiller will remain a topic of interest for many clubs in 2026, Romano adds. We heard reports about Manchester United's mission to sign him in the final days of the transfer window. Completely fake, no mission. In 2026 things might be different. La Liga, Premier League clubs might be interested because the player is open to move abroad from Germany, to try a new experience, from what I'm hearing. He is another name we will mention quite a lot on the channel because some clubs are going to plan some missions to follow him and scout him and see how he will develop. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our second news is Real Madrid exploring to sign Liverpool sensation in 2026. Real Madrid are keeping a keen eye on Liverpool wonderkid Rio Ngumaha, with the Spanish giant said to be exploring a possible summer 2026 move to Santiago Bernabeu for the teenager, according to reports from Football Transfers. The 17-year-old has shown capabilities of being one of the hottest prospects in English football at the moment, and while he was always highly rated, his stock rose quite admirably after he scored that last-minute winner against Newcastle United at Anfield last month. While that goal not only gave the Merseysiders very valuable early 3 points in the Premier League, but the goal also went on to put Ngumaha as one of the Reds' youngest ever Premier League goal scorers. Now, according to reports by Defensa Central, Real Madrid president Florentino Perez is said to be amazed by Rio's development at L4 of late, and he sees the teenager as a possible future Galactico. The Spanish giants are reportedly considering a serious move to pry him away to Spain next summer before he starts cementing his place as a regular for the Reds. The report states how the scouts representing the Spanish capital city club have been tracking his progress throughout pre-season and the early stages of this campaign, and they are said to be impressed by how Ngumaha has been putting in performances beyond his age. There is an expectation that Ngumaha will be penning down his first professional contract at L4 in the upcoming weeks, with the deal reportedly running until 2028, but that is not supposed to deter Real Madrid. There is no expectation of a release clause being there in any new contract, which means Perez will have to come down and negotiate a transfer fee himself. Liverpool will be looking to keep hold of Ngumaha, and the Reds believe that he has the capacity to have a long-term role at Anfield. We saw how Slot has included him in the UEFA Champions League squad and that he is ahead of the likes of Federico Chiesa, which clearly shows how much the head coach trusts the teenager. It is one of the classic cases of introducing teenage talent too early and then risking losing them as other big clubs look at their potential and turn to all tactics to pry them away. We saw something very similar with how Man City swooped in for Sterling all those years back, and now we see something very alike with Rio. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our third news is Liverpool have agreed to Virgil van Dijk's transfer demand after making wishes clear. Liverpool had a historic summer after spending more than £400 million on new signings, and Virgil van Dijk predicted the spree months before the transfer window opened. Liverpool gave Virgil van Dijk precisely the transfer window response he wanted after agreeing to sign a new contract at Anfield. The Dutch defender delighted Reds fans when he penned fresh terms in April, but he campaigned for the club to make a statement in the transfer window prior to that announcement. Arne Slot won the Premier League title in his first season as Liverpool coach despite failing to make a major outfield signing last summer. However, the Merseysiders made up for that frugality this year when they spent in excess of £400 million on new arrivals, the additions of attackers Alexander Isak, £130 million, Florian Wirtz, £116 million, and Hugo Ekitike, £82 million, in particular have got fans excited. And supporters will be reminded on Van Dijk's comments urging the club to go big before it was even known as to whether he'd remain at Anfield beyond this summer. Whatever happens in terms of players going out, players coming in, I think it should be a big summer, said the Dutchman shortly before his 2-year contract extension was confirmed. I think they're planning to make it a big summer, so we all have to trust the board, as a Liverpool-connected fan, to do the right job. I think Liverpool should be able to challenge for titles in the upcoming years. Many would be inclined to agree after seeing the business the club conducted across the board in recent weeks. And the Reds are already looking like good value to retain the Premier League title after winning each of their first 3 games. There was nary a part of Liverpool's squad that didn't receive reinforcements this summer. Slot's upgrades in attack are well-founded, while 18-year-old Giovanni Leone has given the club the potential Van Dijk successor they've long sought after. Andy Robertson also received fresh competition at left-back from Milos Kerkez, who appears to be Slot's preferred option. And the loss of Trent Alexander-Arnold was mitigated by the arrival of Jeremy Frimpong, who has dazzled at right-back thus far. Those investments weren't completely outside Liverpool's means either, after they sold nearly £200 million worth of talent. And that should help soothe the club's conscience after breaking from the more cost-conscious approach that so often prevailed during Jurgen Klopp's reign. Looking back now, Van Dijk's comments on the transfer window sound like a man with more knowledge of the club's plans than he might have let on. And after spending so little in the summer of 2024, it always seemed like a big response was likely ahead of Slot's sophomore season. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our last news is, there was interest. £43 million winger says he'd thought about potential Liverpool move in summer. One of the most highly rated young wingers has confirmed that Liverpool had shown genuine interest in him during the summer transfer window. L'Equipe reported in June that the Reds were in talks with the agents of Lyon winger Malik Fofana, who the League One club valued at €50 million, £43.4 million, and those links continued well into July before subsiding in more recent weeks. The 20-year-old has remained at the Groupama Stadium for the time being despite abundant summer speculation, and he admitted to giving consideration to approached from 2 Premier League sides. Fofana opens up about Liverpool transfer interest. Speaking to Belgian outlet Het Belang van Limburg, via Sport Witness, the youngster confirmed that both Liverpool and Chelsea had taken an interest in him during the off-season, but he felt that his development is best served by staying put. Could Fofana be an option for Liverpool in the future? The Belgium international appears to boast plenty of raw potential, with Emilio Ferrara, his former under-21 coach at Genk, hailing him as the greatest talent I ever trained, and the winger has accrued 16 goals in 65 appearances so far at Lyon. The 20-year-old has stood out for his dribbling ability, with his average of 6.58 progressive carries per 90 minutes placing him in the top 2% of positional peers in Europe's 5 main leagues over the past 12 months, FBref. However, such is the competition for places in Liverpool's attack that Fofana would have been a luxury signing rather than a necessary one, with Cody Gakpo the current holder of the left-sided berth and Rio Ngumaha knocking on the door for further inclusion. In fact, Paul Joyce recently reported that the Anfield hierarchy decided against pursuing the Lyon forward as they didn't want to impede the 17-year-old's route into the first team, a decision which already seems to be justified by the teenager's dramatic impact against Newcastle last month. Richard Hughes might go back in for the Belgian at a later stage, but for now it appears that all parties are happy enough to maintain the status quo. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Fofana said, there was interest from those two clubs, but ultimately it wasn't concrete enough. I've thought about a transfer, but I think it's more important now that I play a lot, and that has to happen at Lyon. Because I still have progress to make. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.